Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Someone jokingly said in Nigeria, everything has a great and happy Sunday, happy Easter, happy Palm Sunday, right? Today's Palm Sunday, is a happy Palm Sunday. Happy everything to us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, right from the city of Abuja. And I want to thank everyone that is joining and will be joining on our various platform on the 55th episode of Finding Help with Special Needs. I remain yours truly, Lola Aneke. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I always do, please don't forget to share this video and let's have a watch party so that people that need to know what we're doing and need to learn with us will be able to join us right now. And don't forget to like and leave your comment while the show go on so that we can answer, our guest can answer your question. And yeah, turn on your notification button so that whenever we come on live to bring you the nice information that helps you with children with special needs and in the field of special needs as a whole, be you a practitioner, a mother, a father, an uncle, whatever you are, family of individual or an individual with special needs yourself, to turn on your notifications so that you can get such information from us. So without much ado, I want to welcome you once again. Thank you so much for always being with us. It's the 55th episode of Finding Out with Special Needs, and our topic for today is the ABC of organizing for special needs. And we're introducing basic organizing in a fun and easy way. I'll take that again. So it's episode 55. Why am I saying 52? Episode 55. Five. That's a huge number. We've come a long way, and I want to celebrate each and every one of us for coming on every week for the past 52 weeks. 55 weeks. 55 weeks, I beg your pardon, 55 weeks. And the topic for today is the ABC of organizing for special needs, introducing basic organizing in a fun and easy way. So welcome again to episode 55 of Finding Up with Special Needs. If you've been following, like I always do at the beginning, like 2-3 days before the show, I try to let us know what we're talking about, and I give a little preamble as to what it is we're talking about. And one thing that I've realized with children with special needs is that a lot of people think that most of them are quite dependent on their parents, on their siblings, on the teachers, or they always need someone to assist them. Sometimes that's not always the case. And for children with developmental delay, most times they need you to show them the way. So for example, if one of the child with probably autism or even Down syndrome or even cerebral palsy, whatever the nature of disability is, and that you needed the child to be able to probably lay his or her bed, the thing you need to do is to be able to show that child. No, the first thing you need to do is you yourself need to be organized. You need to know what to do, because you can't give what you do not have. I remember writing in the under the flyer when I shared it, I said one of the things that we might find difficult with children with special needs when it comes to organization is that we need to be organized ourselves. If you're not organized, there's no way you can give what you do not have, be a teacher, a parent, whoever you are. If you're trying to teach a child with special needs how to be organized or to be dependent, you have to be organized yourself. So that's one way to make sure they learn to be organized. Another way is to show them repeatedly and then give them room to so repeatedly, more like a routine, show them over and over again. Teach them easy, precise ways how to do it, simple steps, and then you let them do it themselves. And of course, celebrate every step of the way their milestone or achievements. So today we have two guests. We have two people that will be joining us. One is a mother, and not just a mother of a child with special needs. She's a mother of several children with special needs. And we have another guest that will be joining us. She is a productivity and organizing expert, the #1 in Africa. So we're so privileged to have these two wonderful ladies joining us today. So without much ado, I'm going to be introducing our two guests. I think I see both of them at the background. So welcome, ladies. Thank you for being with us this beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Nigeria. I don't know what it is, what time it is in other parts of the world, but we want to welcome you all and welcome you particularly for being here. Thank you for choosing to spend your Sunday evenings with us. Most times, Sunday evenings, people just want to relax after church. They want to lie down, they want to rest and get rejuvenated towards Monday. But thank you so much. We really appreciate you and we do not take it for granted. Thank you for coming to share your knowledge with us. Thank you so much. So, what we always do on finding out with special needs is that we like to keep it real, and we like our guests to blow their trumpet because you know what? You know that slogan that says you've paid your price, you paid the dues. So please, this is the time for you to blow your trumpet and let us know why you deserve who you are, why you deserve to speak to us this afternoon on this subject matter. So over to you. Let's go with Miss Cresta. Please introduce yourself to us.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, great. So my name, like Lola said, my name is Cresta Durojaye, and I am one of people refer to me as one of Africa's leading productivity experts, and I'm a certified professional organizer. I am also the president and founding chairperson of Association of Productivity and Organizing Professionals in Nigeria. I'm an author, I'm the host of the Life Lessons podcast. I do a couple of other things on the side. And yeah, here I am, ready to
And
teach
you are
organizing in
hands-on
a
mother.
fun and
You are
easy way.
hands-on mom of two beautiful daughters. At least I know
Yes, I'm a
that.
hands I'm a hands-on mother. My children know when I'm coming that yes, this place has to be organized, this has to be put together, and all of that. So yes, I am a hands-on mother, and I love, love, love organizing and productivity.
Thank you so much. Like I said again, thank you for choosing to spend your Sunday evening with us. We're truly, truly honored to have you. Thank you. We appreciate you and your time. Over to you, mommy special needs. That's your new name from today. So we want you to please introduce yourself and blow your trumpet. I know you had a beautiful show on Down Syndrome Day. Kudos to you. It was all over the news. So please tell us what you do, who you are, and then just tell us about yourself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lola. My name is Bibi Yinkere. I'm actually Bibwara, but I'm popularly known as Bibi Yinkere. I'm a mother. I have three lovely kids. Um, I well, I have my BSc in finance and banking, and then somewhere along the line, I didn't really have a good definition of who I was, and so I started another program. So I also have my um, I have my MPA in the public admin, and then I stumbled into the environment. So I have my MSc in environmental management. But all of these things, I still didn't really find out who I was. So sometimes when people ask me to introduce myself, I'm like, do I say I'm an administrator? Tomorrow do I say, but somehow, 9 years ago, destiny um I found destiny when I had my child, Miracle. Miracle came with Down syndrome. So initially I was like, I didn't even like see much parents around me, to talk with. And so, 6 years, it's almost 6 years now. We now started the Engraced ones. So for now, funny enough, that really defines who I am more than any other aspect of my life. So the Engraced ones is a support group, a prayer support group for parents and caregivers, people who just love children with special needs. We don't restrict ourselves to parents alone, because sometimes we even see some people who are really amazing, who are so committed to our work. They are not special parents, but just the information, getting to know the world of a typical special parent got them addicted to what we do. So it's a support group for parents, not just parents with Down syndrome, any other diagnosis. We come together. We started praying. We started as just a prayer support group. Along the line, we discovered that this one is beyond prayer. We need to sensitize people. Sometimes it's not prayer. All somebody needs to be empathic. All someone needs to show that love and care is to understand what this condition is about. So we started sensitizing people and then advocating, trying to, get the right things done for our children. And almost 2 years now, we started a small educational center. We have to also train the children beyond us talking and saying, oh, these children are trainable. We want to actually train them. So that's what I do.
Wow. She's just trying to be modest. This woman is a powerhouse when it comes to children with special needs. She's a mother of them all. You need to see what she's saying, the small thing they're doing. They're doing great things, great things for children with special needs. Thank you so much, Mrs. Inkere. We truly appreciate you in this field. And I like the fact that you ended with the part of the training for the children, and empowering the parents on how to help their children. Thank you so much. And that just leads me to what we're doing today. The topic for today is the ABC of organizing for special needs, introducing basic organizing in a fun and easy way. So we're actually having training in class live for the first time on Finding Up with Special Needs. We're having training live, and Mrs. Cresta Bidoja will be walking us through organizing for children with special needs, particularly today. But before she goes on, we lost her for a bit, she'll be back. Before she goes on to explain what organizing is for children with special needs, Mrs. Inkere, I want you to please explain to our audience out there who might not understand what special needs is and the various kind of special needs that there are, so that by the time Ms. Cresta gets back to tell us how to help these children to get organized, they would understand in a holistic way what organizing for children with special needs is.
So okay, thank you. In very simple terms, special needs refer to children or people with special needs, refer to people, individuals who are slightly different from the norm and who require extra dose of love, extra dose of care. And then this set of children, there are different categories of these children. There are those who live with learning disability, like those with Down syndrome, those with neurological disorder, like those autistics, and then we have those with cerebral palsy. It mostly has to do with their muscles and things like that. They have limitations. Just very, very elementary definition. Because like today in church, I was working in a particular section where I couldn't use my phone. And when I came out, I saw several missed calls. So when I called them back, they said, we have these girls in our class, so they are twins. They're like 7 or 8 years old. They're twins, and we don't know what to do with them. So I was like, what condition are they living with? And they couldn't even explain. They were like, the children were just jumping all over the place, and they were just hyperactive and all of that. So, those people who are different, who react to situations differently, who may look different. In some instances, they don't even look different, but because of their behavioral difference, you know that this person needs extra attention.
Thank you so much. So, Mrs. Tiroja, while you are away, we try to see how we can blend what you're going to talk to us about today. Today, like I said, is a different ball game altogether. Something totally new on Finding Up with Specialists, where we have an expert coming to show us the practical and hands-on ways of helping our children with special needs to get organized. And then we had Ms. Inkere talking to us about what special needs is all about. So we're going to hand it over to you right now to explain what the basic ABC organizing skills are, and want you to introduce us to the fun and easy way of organization for children with special needs. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And let me share my screen. So let's see. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay, just a second. Share screen. Okay.
It's coming up
now.
It's coming up. Yeah, I can see it now. Can you see our screen?
Yes, I can.
Great.
Excellent. Okay, so Welcome to the ABC of Organizing for Special Needs. And this is particularly targeted at special needs and younger children, which is why we have used ABC. So it's easy as much as possible. I want to ensure that it's hands-on, it's practical, and it's easy to understand and easy to implement. So we're going to be introducing the basic organizing steps in a fun and easy way so that little ones and people with special needs can pick these things up easily and be able to run with it. So straight away, I would like to just explain because most times when we talk about organizing, people are not sure. They ask, is it organizing events or, the likes? So organizing actually emerged as an industry as early as 1984 within Los Angeles. And here in Nigeria, we started it out in 2014. And so we are growing, we are emerging, and we're getting to understand better. Now, basically, a professional organizer helps people, helps businesses, works with you to improve efficiency and to increase the level of productivity. So the more organized you are, the easier it is for you to attain a level of productivity. And how do we do that? We help by organizing spaces, organizing your schedules, organizing your systems and your processes. Basically, everything around you that contributes to you being a more productive version of yourself. Now, for organizing, I'm wondering, did you know that to get organized makes life easier, especially for kids? Now, this is regardless of their age, regardless of their learning or thinking differences, which is why I'm happy that Mrs. Lola Aneke has called me here to talk about it. So whether you're special needs or you're taking care of a special needs child or teaching a special needs child or you're a helper to a special needs child or even a child who is not special needs, basically it helps it helps to make life easier. Now, the core thing to think about here is that we must always put our best foot forward. So before we go into the nitty-gritty, I want every one of us to have that at the back of our minds, to enter into it and be able to put our best foot forward. If we put our best foot forward, the kids that we are going to teach or introduce these ABC steps to would also be able to put their best foot forward, and you will get a result that ends up improving their lifestyle holistically. Now, in all of this, what is most important, and I want us to always remember, is that we must choose what works best for the individual. What works for Mrs. Lola is different from what works for Mrs. Nkere, is different from what works for me. So at every point in time, we must avoid a one-size-fits-all approach. Don't use a blanket cover for child A and child B and child C. Find out what it
I think we lost Miss Drojaye for a bit, and I'm sure she'll be back. Miss Nkera, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, there was something she said that I needed to get my pen and paper immediately, and I jotted
it
down what she
also
said.
grows their level of independence and it makes them more productive. And they begin to know that no, I can't throw my clothes any and anywhere. I can't play with toys and leave them scattered and go away. I can't put my shoes with my underwear. So they begin to understand certain levels of boundaries. And the more they grow and gain mastery, it begins to affect how they relate in terms of boundaries, generally with people and everywhere they go. They begin to understand that there are limitations or boundaries that I don't need to exceed concerning this. So that is part of what organizing helps to do. Now, the ground rule is that we must make the spaces we're working on happy. If the spaces are happy, the children will be happy, and the results that they bring to you will be happy, and you will see it in their total well-being, that there will be happiness, and it will just flow. The look interesting and fun. We must ensure, Mrs. Nkere, I've started. We must ensure that we assign a home to every item. In fact, in my house, we have a rhyme for it. A place for everything and everything in its place. A place for everything and everything in its place. So when you're teaching the children, you can teach them this fun song, and you help them by assigning a home. You can make it a fun and interactive session and say, let's say the child's name is Lisa. Hey Lisa, I have a rhyme, and explain the whole thing, and then use the rhyme to make it interesting. And when you pick up something, maybe you pick up like I pick up my mouse, I'll say, hey Lisa, a place for everything and everything in its place. So what home are we going to give? Where does this belong? And Lisa will say to you, oh, it belongs in the office or on my reading desk. And you say, so take it to its home. It is lonely, So make it interesting, because when it is interesting, you can engage special needs children better. So leave nothing out and ensure that all homes that you assign to every item, they support full view of all the items. It doesn't help if you put a particular item and you put something behind and the child cannot see it, then it makes it difficult for the child to adjust. So we must ensure that it's all in full view, nothing is hidden, and everything is within reach. If you want a child to participate in something and you put it high up where they can't get to, they will never pick that thing up or make use of it. So ensure that everything is within reach and within full view. Now, B stands for break down into categories. After you've given homes to every single items around your home, you then ensure that you categorize them. You can't put the cooking spoon with the underwear. You can't put the pen with the clothes. Do you get? So we need to categorize and say all shoes in one place, all books in one place. And when you get to books, you also need to categorize. But to make it simple, assign a home to everything and make sure you break them down into categories. Then number C, color code the categories. This helps to engage and promote visual interaction and engagement. Once you color code, the child is able to engage in an interesting way. Imagine ensuring that all of the items that have to do with school have all your school books, school pens, school items are within a particular color code. It helps that child to know that anything to do with school, oh, that's yellow, 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 corner, yellow, yellow, yellow. So you have to make it fun, interactive, colorful, and let it always be a happy space. Now, let's go to clothes immediately. And I put it again, ABC. What are the ABCs of organizing clothes? Very simply put, I'm sure you love the way that organized closet looks. You can see it is labeled. You can see that they have arranged the clothes accordingly. They've tried to color code. Sometimes you could either categorize according to usage or according to colors, but we will get there. So A, you must adorn the closet space in a color-coded format. I'm particular about colors because colors spark interest and joy. Colors make it more interesting to engage younger ones or people with younger minds, like special needs children. So adorn those closets in a color-coded format, or you can use flowered, depending on what works for that particular child. You can use flowery wallpapers, or you can choose to use colorful beans like I have here. I don't know if you can see it. So you can use colorful beans like you have in the picture shown on my slide as well. Now, after you've chosen that, and prepared the space, you can now do basic folding. I don't want us to overburden the children with learning specific types of, I guess as they graduate, they'll be able to do that. But for starters, let the child fold in a way and a format that is convenient for them. Remember, every child is different. I have two girls. One of them, when you see her closet, oh my God, everything in its place and a place for everything. The other child, her clothes are here, topsy-turvy. And if I want to engage her in arranging her closet, I don't engage her the way I engage the child who knows how to fold in an expert way. I engage her in a different way, but just still get her to organize her space without overburdening her brain with, oh gosh, she must get it right. And then, because then she'll get tired and she may not be able to maintain it. So know what works for each child. Keep the folding as basic as possible, unless in situations where the child is not going to be doing the folding themselves and they have an adult who does it for them, but they can be engaged or involved, or else leave it, the folding, as simple and basic as possible according to the child's ability, to avoid complications and discouragements. Number C, color code, and then length graduate. So if you're arranging, put the longer clothes first. So in this picture, they probably arranged according to use. So you can see the first set of clothes look like dress-up clothes, and you arrange them, the taller ones, or if you're doing by color, then you may not bother about the taller ones. If you want to do by length, then you put the taller ones on the left, and then you graduate the lengths going forward. If you want to do by colors, you start with the dark colors, and then you begin to graduate towards the light colors. That way, when the child comes, if they are looking for a long outfit to wear for a particular event, they know which area of the wardrobe to check. If they're looking for a blue outfit because that's what they wear in school today, they go to color blue. If they're looking for, it makes it easy for them to function and be independent and be able to run their show without you being overly, without them being overly dependent on you. Now, note, you must include labeling. Label all the bins that you use. Any bin you use, label it so that every item is known for what it is and can fit into where it belongs. If you don't label it, the child can get confused and put anything anywhere. So remember to label, and in all of the labeling, don't forget a laundry basket for dirty items. So I'm saying this because sometimes we may arrange the closet, put the shoes in order, put the clothes in order, but forget about laundry. And then you come after a week, you find out that because you did not intentionally create a home and label it for laundry, the child will throw the dirty clothes along with the clean clothes. Now, let's not feel that because we are adults and we know, when you're talking to an adult, you say, you should know better. Why are you putting dirty clothes? Are you a child? Do you understand? People will say that, but remember, we children, we may not process it the way you're processing it. These are all my clothes. This is my room. I can take out something from my body when I come back from school and I'll just throw it in because there's no home that has been assigned for it. So if we want to make it easy for the environment or the space to stay organized, create that laundry space where the child can know that all dirty clothes go in here, all dirty socks, everything goes in here, and only clean things stay here. So it helps them to process it very well. And also it helps to have another area where you can label and say give away. Now, when a child puts on a particular outfit and it feels like it's too tight, or you realize, oh my God, Lisa, that dress has a hole in it. Okay, we can't wear it again. Or it no longer fits, it's too small for you. You ask Lisa, take it to the giveaway. Now, if you don't do that, Lisa will keep those clothes. She tries it, it's not her size. She keeps it with the ones that are her size. The day you're not around and you ask Lisa to get dressed or somebody to bring her to you somewhere, Lisa may come to you with something that is no longer her size because it has not been purged out of her wardrobe system. So we must create a home for items that are for giveaway, items that are for trash, items for laundry. Anything you don't give a home will land anywhere. And when it lands anywhere, you're going to have a lot of disorganization. And then before you know it, the child is unable to function as well as they can. Now, in terms of continuity and maintenance, it helps to, I usually advise organizing on the go or maintaining on the go. What do I mean by that? As you come back from school and you take off your uniform or whatever you wore to school, don't just throw it anywhere. Just go and put it where it belongs. If it's dirty, straight to the laundry basket. If it's supposed to be hung up, straight to where it should be hung up. Now, when you do that, your room stays constantly tidy. But we are considerate because not everybody functions like that. For some people, it just does not work. And so for such people, you may want to say, okay, can you try daily organizing? In which case, whatever it is, by the end of the day, you must tidy up and say, oh, why is this here? Put it where it belongs. So on the go is doing it there and then. Daily is at the end of the day, you organize your space, put everything back where they belong. Weekly is at the end of every week. Now, some people may feel overburdened having to do it every day. And if you insist on it, you may not get a good result because you'll then get frustrated and you won't see any results. So find out, once again, I'll repeat, what works best for each individual child's cycle. What works best for this child? If it's on the go, let that child do the on the go organizing. If it's daily, at the end of every day, let that child have something spelled out in their daily schedule that says time to organize your room, 6:30, go and organize your room, for example. And if it's weekly, agree on a day at the end of the week, maybe Friday evening or Saturday morning. You can put it on their schedule and their alarm will ring to remind them. And when they look at it, it will say, go tidy up or go organize your room or your space. Now, for purging, which is taking out items that no longer fit or have issues and so you're not using them, I would recommend monthly or quarterly or annually. In my home, we love rhymes. We do quarterly, so we always sing declutter every quarter, declutter every quarter. And my children know when we start singing that song, you know that it is time to go and declutter. You know, it's time to go and purge. Declutter means take out or purge away things that don't belong anymore in the space. So, and annually, but I would not advise anything beyond quarterly. Annually is too much because that means you're going to pile a lot of stuff. You know, I only put it here because it's an option, but I would not recommend that because by the end of the year, when you're sitting down to do this, it's very weighty, it takes a lot, it stresses you out, and as a result, you end up not doing it, and then you start to pile and pile. So I would not recommend that. Then for shoes, ensure that you sign a home that promotes aeration, that allows for the shoes to be aired. Because when you put them in areas where they cannot be aired, you find out after a while mildew and all of that, and it will begin to spoil the shoes. So you need a space that is open, that is visible, and that is airy. Now, visibility is so important for special needs because if you want them to be able to do their stuff, run their show themselves, they must see everything clearly within reach and within view. Anything that is hidden is like you're now beginning to add extra burden, even for any adult. Once something is hidden, the likelihood of you using that thing often is rare. In fact, after a while, you forget that it exists. So let's make it as open and as visible and airy as possible. B, break into categories by use. Now, you can either break into categories by use, or you can also color code, or you do both. After you've broken all the shoes into categories, maybe all these are for outing. Within the outing, when you're arranging them, arrange them according to colors. When you're putting all sports shoes together, within the sports shoes, arrange according to colors. So when you say to Lisa, hey Lisa, go get dressed, we're going to the football field, or we're going to the park to play, you can say to Lisa, so pick up your pink trainers. Now, Lisa already knows that we have created a home for all her trainers and we have labeled trainers. Lisa will go to where trainers are. And because you said pink and they are already arranged according to colors, Lisa will be more likely able to pick up her pink trainers and move. But when they are all jumbled together, you put the pink here, the outing shoes here, the home shoes here. When you say go and get it, they come back and say, I can't find it. And when you keep saying go back, you frustrate the child. So it helps to categorize according to use, and when you put them according to use, also color code. It helps to make it interesting, and that is C, color code for easy identification during collection and replacement. So when Lisa comes back from the park, she doesn't need mama to tell her this is where to put your shoes, or dada to say, John, go put your shoes where. She knows where she got them. They're trainers. They belong, their home is the trainer's area, and she knows the color space for it, and she will go put it there. So it makes it easy for the child to be able to function. Now, in this category, to be able to maintain the system and the process that you're running, I recommend always, especially for clothes and shoes, I usually recommend on the go, because when Lisa piles her shoes, John piles his shoes and clothes and all of that, and in process of waiting for the weekend to do it, you find out sometimes they become overwhelmed. And if that weekend, particular weekend, you as the caretaker or caregiver is a bit not ready to organize with them, then it piles for 2 weeks and 3 weeks. Do you understand? But if they are able to do it on the go, I always recommend that. But if it just doesn't work for the child, let's not push it. We can do daily if that is what works better, and we can do weekly if that works better. In terms of purging, to take out shoes or clothes that don't fit anymore, we would say monthly. At the end of every month, you can set a reminder, and the child will come excitedly that some things need to leave this home to go to another home. And another suggestion I would like to give is every time you're buying a new pair of shoes or new clothes, always identify an old one that can go and give room for this new one. So imagine that we are living, you, myself, and Mrs. Ikere are living in a space for three people, and we're bringing an extra housemate. That place is going to be stuffy and is going to be choked. Then another housemate, then another housemate. But if a new housemate is coming in and we choose to say, okay, hasta la vista, Mrs. Lola Aneke, goodbye. This space is for 3 housemates or 3 shoes, as the case may be. And if a new pair is coming, you must create space for it, or else you're going to be creating chaos for the child, and the child may be unable to manage it. So as a new item is coming in, figure out an old one that needs to give way so that there'll be space to contain the new one. So advisably, monthly, quarterly, avoid annually totally. Like avoid it. It doesn't help much, you know. So as much as possible, maybe I shouldn't have put it, but it's an option. But I always say avoid it because it ends up piling and you struggle to manage. Books, the ABC for books: acquire colorful bins for your chosen book categories. For example, you can decide to categorize them according to subjects, or alphabetically, or according to color. But whichever it is, make sure that you bin label every category that you have chosen. Now, when you label it that way, it makes it interesting, it makes it interactive, and the child looks forward to going there to get a book or going back there to put a book in its place. If the space is not joyful, most likely you will struggle with engaging the child in doing it. For some children, pictures work better, like you can see in my slide. There you can diagramize whatever it is, or make it picture friendly, color, get the child to color it and all of that, so that the child is excited about it. So you can do that. Now, there are various ways of, I will show the examples when I'm done. There are various ways of putting the books. You can either put it, cascade it in order from the left to right, or from back to front. But either which way, the tall books must always be, if you're doing left to right, then the tall books must always be at the left, and then it starts to cascade down. That way, the child can just follow the order and see it. If you're arranging from back to front, then the tallest ones must be at the back all the time. Same with their toiletries, everything you're arranging with the children, try to ensure that visibility is key. So taller things at the back so that they are not hidden. If you put a tall one in front and a short one at the back, the child will never see what is at the back. So always cascade your arrangement and it's easier. Continuity and maintenance, it helps on the go. You're done using that book, go and put it away. It's recommended for shoes and clothes. For books as well, I would recommend it. You can also do daily, maybe at the end of the day, all the books they've read or worked with or colored with, they put them together, and at the end of the day, before they go shower in the evening, you allocate a time frame and say, okay, time for book organizing. And I would recommend as much as possible, make it fun. Always have attach a rhyme to it, something you can all sing about. It makes it interesting and it makes it stick. So you can do that daily. You can also do it weekly. Like I said, set an alarm at the end of the week and say, okay, every Saturday, you can form a rhyme to it. As the alarm goes, everybody sings. Because when it doesn't feel so much like a chore, it's easier for kids to want to engage, especially with special needs. They would want to engage more because it is fun. But when it is inundating, it feels like work. Oh God, this heavy work. So anything as caregivers, as teachers, as parents, anything we can do to make the process interesting and sweet to go. My girls are 15 and 14, but I still sing songs because that's when they want to show you that, hey, I can't do it now. I'm busy. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. So you want to make it fun. You want to add, a lot of drama to it that makes it interesting. And they say, oh, wow, I'm looking forward to it. So you can also do bi-weekly, once in 2 weeks, but let's not go beyond that, or else you're going to have books piled everywhere. And when that child needs a particular book, you can't find it, and everybody's just going to be frustrated. Now, to purge, monthly, quarterly, and annually. Annually, yes. For books, annually is kind of okay in terms of checking books that the child has read over and over again, or at the end of the school year, the child is no longer using these books. They've graduated to a new level. We have no business keeping all those books with the current ones. It's only going to cause confusion. It's going to inundate the child with searching amongst a huge row of books. No, I'm not using this one again. No need. At the end of the year or at the end of the month or quarter, purge those out. Even we who sing declutter every quarter. For books, we do annually. At the end of the school term, within the first month of the holiday or the first week, depending on how long it is, we immediately purge out the books that are done, we're done with. Now, I would recommend you can keep some special drawings, maybe 3 of special drawings, 3 of special write-ups, 3 of maybe poems or art pieces, just some interesting things, but don't keep too many. Just choose the best or the favorite 3 of the child from each category and put it in a memorabilia box, something that they can go back to and look at and love what they do. Then the rest, you can let them go, so that you see space for the new activities for the child's new school term. Then play activity items or activity items. These we refer to toys or Ludo, board games, anything that the child uses for extracurricular activity. It could be hula hoops, anything. It is important, A, to assign designated homes. Don't leave anything without a home. Anything that doesn't have a home will fall anywhere. When it falls anywhere, it will cause commotion. But if you give it a home, when something is not right, you can easily say to the child, Lisa or John, where does this belong? And they can say, uh-oh, it belongs in the so box, and they will go put it away. But when there's no home, and I had to learn that on the go with my children, even with their growing, in my mind, I'm thinking, don't you know that hula hoops should be here, or don't you know that, why can't you just create? But it just doesn't work like that. We have to baptize it, give it a home, and say, this is your home. And then we must give it a name and label each home. You must baptize the home. If this cubicle is for the board games, write it, label it there and say board games. If this cubicle is for the Lego pieces, label it and say Lego pieces. Or if it's a transparent box like you have here, label it so that the child puts all Lego pieces in one place, all crayons in one box, all drawing or coloring books in one. So when you do that, it's easy for your child to function without you, to be independent and on the go. They know where to get what. No matter what it is that their learning challenges are, if they have everything introduced to them and well ordered, it's a lot easier. You make life easy for them, and even you will be very happy when you're doing what you're doing and the child says, I feel like coloring, and you'll be saying, hey, I know they're going to call me to look for the color, and the child doesn't, because you have labeled it and they know the home for colors. They know the home for coloring books. They'll go there, they'll get all they want. And because we have put a system in place, when it's 6 o'clock or when that activity period is over, we also put a system in place to say, once you're done, put all colors back in their home, put all Lego pieces back in their home, put all coloring books back in their home. So when you do that, they begin to, it becomes a rhyme that sticks in their head. It becomes a way of life, and they function easily. Now, we must contain every category adequately within their designated home. Don't go and throw, sometimes when we're arranging, when we put some things, after a while we get that, whoa, let this skipping rope just go here. Just put it anywhere, put it anywhere. No. In the case of these children, you can't do anywhere. In fact, I always say to people, anyhowness cannot flow. So there's no anyhowness here. You have to be intentional. You have to be precise. You have to make sure that everything belongs somewhere and those homes are labeled. Don't think that because we say all Lego is in one box, all this, if you don't label it, they may just put, they may not remember which one is it. You say box, just put it there, but label it, and it's easier for them to work. Same thing. This particular one, I think I'll just stick to on the go and daily for activity stuff. Once they are done playing, create a 10-20 minutes window that is for pack up, when they need to pack and put things back. Anything other than on the go and daily is recipe for disaster. So let's stick to, for play and activity items, let's stick to on the go. As you finish, put it back in its box, or at the end of the play day, put it back in its box or home. To purge, you can do this monthly, you can do this quarterly, you can do this annually. You want to check the coloring books that are no longer on the level that they've graduated to, or the toys that are no longer on their level, you take them out. And as much as possible, when you're buying new items, try and ensure that there's space for them. Don't just buy for buying sake. And if there's no space, the child will throw it anywhere. So always ensure that before new items come home, that any old item that can leave, leaves. Now, for schedules and routines, this is the baba of them all. Without schedules and routines, it may be difficult to be able to run all of these things that we've talked about. We have an organized closet, we have an organized play area, organized books, everything. But if we have no schedule, it becomes extremely difficult. So I have no schedule. It means there's nothing pushes me to go and pack my toys or anything. So you may arrange them and they'll be color coded and they'll be graduated according to size. They'll be labeled. But if I don't have a schedule that tells me this is time to play, this is time to pack up your toys, this is time for snack, this is time for water break, this is time, and I want us as much as possible to be very basic and down to earth. When I'm coaching adults, we don't talk like this. But with kids and with special needs kids, there's no need saying fun time. What does fun time mean? You have to be very particular and specific. So you can say, oh, snack time. water break. Take a water break at this time to this time. Now, the child may need a lot of water in their system, and you expect that the child will just go and drink water when they are thirsty. Even with children that are not special needs, they are so engrossed in their play or whatever they are doing that they will not even go and drink
Mm.
water. Sometimes it's even as bad as they are so engaged in their play that they want to use the restroom, but they just don't go. They are pressed. Sometimes you see them jumping and doing like, but they can't leave that play. So we need to help. We need to help. We need to say from this time to this time, it's time for water break. From this time to this time, read a book. From this time to this time, clean up. From this time to this time, so give specific times. And the best way to go about this, and after all of this, I'm available to help. My email address will be there. If you need some extra assistance, I'll be happy to help out to put together a schedule. Remember, the same schedule you use for Lisa may not work for John. They are two different human beings and must be treated in that way. So the ABC is you must arrange in order of priority and frequency all the activities and the chores and the to-dos. In other words, you must first of all list out activities and chores and to-dos. Then you order them according to priority or frequency. Okay, how often does this get done? Like meals is morning, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks in between, and so on. You must list all of that out and then begin to arrange them. After you have done that, and you know that, wake up comes before breakfast, or wake up comes before showering, showering comes before breakfast, breakfast comes before lunch. You must arrange them in that order. Then you start to assign execution days and timelines to each activity. So, for example, you can say, clean up or pack your toys. You know that John usually plays from 5 to 5:30. Once it's 5:30, you can now say 5:30 to 5:45, pack your toys, So you assign all of that. Now, imagine that laundry, maybe somebody comes to do laundry or they have to take it to the washing machine area. You must be able to put in the child's schedule. Don't expect the child to automatically know that, it's Friday now. By now, all your clothes are dirty, they are piling, and you don't think you should know to carry them to the laundry area. No. Be specific, be intentional about it. Tell the child every Friday at 5 p.m., take your laundry basket and drop it in the laundry area. Based on the child's capacity or age or what the child is able to manage at that time. If the child is at a stage where they can load the laundry, you tell them, put everything written out there, spell it out. Don't assume that they will know. Are you a baby? Are you? No, you must spell it out. So be sure to assign everything. If it's you are going to the park, if you do it every Saturday, put it there. Let the child know. So assign timelines and execution days and times. I said days because some activities may be once a week, some may be once in 2 weeks or whatever, but be guided. And then calendarize it when you have done all of this. So put them where they belong. If something is for Friday, fit it into the schedule or calendar format that every Friday the child can look and say, oh, today is Friday, pizza outing. And they know what it involves. And because you have told them what to do. But if you don't put all of that into a calendar format, they don't know. They just know that they normally eat pizza, but they're not sure when. So fit it into a calendar format, either weekly or monthly calendar table that the child can see everything. And then I would also encourage, if alarms can work for the child, that will serve as reminders that can ring and tell the child. It can be a song format, because I understand that for some kids, those kind of sudden noises can trigger one or two things. So if it's a song that the child loves, you can use that as their alarm tone. So when that alarm rings, it can show the child on their, if they have a device or whatever, that, oh, pack your school bags for tomorrow, stuff like that. So for continuity, in terms of your schedules and activities, on the go is always a good idea. Check how the child is progressing as they are going. Because if you're not checking all the time, after a while, you forget what they did well, you forget where they failed to be able to correct them and help them get it better. So don't pile it for too long. You can check daily, you can check on the go, you can check weekly if you're the type that would remember, and because of your busy schedule, weekly is what works for you. At the end of the week, you can do like a pizza or juice sit out and just talk about it. So how did you feel this week about your schedule? Were you able to fit in? What was difficult? Just have a gist with the child, at the end of the week. And if bi-weekly, because I'm also being considerate that parents also have their own, or caregivers or teachers, they have their own, they have a lot they're dealing with as well. So know what works for you and the child and choose. Thank God there are options. We know what is most advised, but just follow what suits you best. And then for purging, every end of month, you can look again at the schedule. Sometimes some activities may be one off. So when they are done, you can take them out. Sometimes some activities may be, whenever they are, but either monthly or quarterly, check again to make sure that the schedule you're using for the child is still relevant and is still up to date. Don't say that once you've done it, titi lie, that's it, just be following it. No, after a while, it will no longer work and you won't realize that things have changed. So it's good to keep checking, take out what activity is no longer, that any activity that is obsolete, and put a new one in its place so that the child is able to function on the go. Now, the key general things to have at the back of your mind, the ABC general things, that's age. At any age, you can introduce organizing. The only difference is do ensure that you introduce it in an age or capacity or learning ability friendly way. So the way you would teach a much younger person or a person that hasn't reached a certain level in their learning or thinking ability is different from the way you teach somebody who has advanced. So at any age, you can introduce it. And the earlier you introduce it, the better. Remember that it is the more you do something that you gain mastery of that thing. So if you introduce it early enough, as they are growing, they begin to gain mastery and they begin to get used to it, and it becomes their new normal. Now, be sure to give everything a home. I've said that over and over and over again, but you can never overflog the issue. And I'm sure you would agree with me. Sometimes we just say, I put it anywhere. Children will ask you, Mommy, where should I put it? Well, put it anywhere. No. If you've already given everything a home and baptized it and named the place, named the item, then it's easier for these things to function. And then remember to categorize, color code, and be consistent. You can't do now and then leave it for 2 months and expect that the child will still remember what it is you taught them. No, we have to be consistent. It is consistently doing something over a long period of time that allows for you to gain mastery. What are our star points? I'll say it again. No two children are the same. Identify and understand what works best for your child. Then steadily build around it. Don't see what Mrs. John is doing for her son and say, let me use it as they are using it, copy and paste. No, it's a good thing to learn from other people, but always identify and understand how you can diversify it to work and suit your child's unique ability. Please don't just copy and paste randomly. It will not work. Even if it's a perfect solution, it will not work. Now, organizing, another star point, organizing is a lifestyle and it is not a destination. So don't always feel in a hurry that we need to arrive, we need to organize, we have to arrive there. It's not like a master's program that when you finish, you have finished, you have closed the door. No, organizing is a lifestyle and it goes on for all of your life. It is not a destination, so you never really arrive. Rather, you just keep improving on an ongoing basis, and you keep getting better, and your level of mastery keeps increasing. So please don't put the children under pressure to quickly get it, and so that you can be free and life can now be okay because they'll now be independent. Now they will understand boundaries. No, it is ongoing. Rewards and recognition, very important. If you don't have this, even if the child is getting it, is interesting, after a while they will stop. There must be something to keep their passion and their interest level fueled up on an ongoing basis. We must make sure that that something is something that is worth working for. If you tell my children, there's one particular pizza now that we just discovered, is so nice. If you tell them to scrub the garden floor where there's grass, scrub it because we're about to have that pizza. Hey, they will scrub the garden. You know what I mean? The floor, ground with sand. They will scrub it diligently because that pizza is very, very important. So find out what sparks joy in your child so that you will add that to the reward system, and always recognize when they have hit a milestone, celebrate it. Don't feel at least see John them now. Now John does everything by himself. My child is only just learning folding. Let's wait and celebrate when you read them. No, as you celebrate, you give the child permission to keep wanting to do better. So always reward and recognize our progress and ensure that it works with something that sparks joy and passion within us. Now, here are a few resources that I'll just show you, and you can get them in most shops. You can get on Amazon. Our own shop is getting prepared to flag off, but for now, I'm sure you can get them on Amazon and a lot of other online shops. So these are boxes or little troughs for activity areas that you can use for storing their play items, Legos in one, Play-Doh in one, colors in one, like that, and then you label them. They are good to behold, they are colorful, they're interesting, they beautify the space, and at the same time, they serve the purpose. You can also see the one in the middle where you use transparent containers and you just put all of them together and you label. Always look for what sparks joy and makes the area or the space look beautiful, make it a happy space. Now, for resources for organizing socks and all of that, here are some nice resources. It can also work for underwears. So there are many resources that can help make organizing easy, because when it is like something that they find difficult to order by themselves, then they may not be able to make much of a progress. But when it's like this, broken down and easy for them to function, then you would see progress on a faster level. For shoes, they are transparent shoe racks. They are the open ones, they are the covered ones. Then I love this one, the one with the butterfly. So you can either buy the ready-made ones and use, or you can get a carpenter and be extremely creative. Make it a happy shoe space. Know what your child loves and make the whole environment. So I love the creativity. So our creative juices have to come alive so that when the children look at these things, they are just excited. They want to start already to be handling their stuff themselves because they love what they see. So you either buy ready-made or you can get a carpenter and creatively do something that works for your child, makes your child happy, or is what your child loves. Then resources for book organizing. You can use simple baskets. You don't always have to go buying new things. Now, once we're done, you start worrying that, where am I going to get? Sometimes you can repurpose old things, old containers, old baskets, old things that from hampers you got. Just our creative juices just need to come alive, and you can use almost anything, even a carton. You can use it, and you can just use a wallpaper or anything, a regular paper, and the child can decorate it, and you can use it for the books. So it's not all about buying. You can just work your creative juices and figure out things around the home that are already available that you can use. Now, this is all for the theory part of it. I was just going to show a few practical demonstrations, even though the pictures have already shown most of what it is. I just thought, okay, I can still show, one or two practical pictures. Um, so,
Wow.
can I off
Mrs.
screen share?
Jerry, I want us to take a little break right now because that was a
Okay.
lot to take in. I kept on taking down my notes. I kept on thinking like, oh my God. And when we come back from the break, it's a short break. When we get
Okay.
back, we would like you to demonstrate, and then I would like to hear from Ms. Nkere because this had
Yeah.
been a whole lecture altogether. And some of the things you said to us were quite new. Some are some of the things we do with children with special needs. But when you're done with Ms. Nkere and I and every other person will be able to, put things where they belong, more like organize our
Sorry,
thoughts.
sorry, Miss Lola.
Thank
Maybe I'll
you.
just sorry. Please, maybe after the break, I'll just maybe share my thoughts because I have to run really because my husband is going on a trip and you know
Absolutely.
Oh,
Just a
leave
minute.
now.
okay.
Just let's
Okay.
just go on a short break and then would hear your thoughts. Thank you.
Dyslexiae, he give anything to make it go away, even though he knows it's here to stay. But Casey won't give up, no, no, cause you know he's way too tough. He's gonna do whatever it takes. He's gonna find a way. Casey never liked school much. All the kids would laugh when he read in class. Teachers tried to help him out, but they didn't know what to do, so they just let it pass. Sometimes he wanted to scream out loud, hide his head in the sound of the clouds. Dyslexiae, he give anything to make it go away, even though he knows it's here to stay. But Casey won't give up, no, no, cause you know he's way too tough. He's gonna do whatever it takes. He's gonna find a way.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. So Mrs. Thank you so much, Mrs. Cresta Jai. That was off the hook. I really enjoyed it. I could relate with most of the things you said. So, Mrs. Nkere, because of the limited time you have, before we have your input, I'm going to ask you some questions. This is the moment of truth now. So, based on what Mrs. Jai has taught us today, or enlightened us on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being we are there. I'm there with my kids with special needs. I understand most of these things. 5 being, well, I'm trying. And 1 mean, oh my God, I have work to do. Where will you rate yourself?
I think we are trying.
I was going to be the one to answer my own. So you're doing a great job. Yeah, I think we're almost on 562 because we may not label and all that, but we're trying really. Then one more question. Are you on the go per organizer, or weekly, daily, or monthly, or yearly? Which one are you?
Weekly, because really I'm too busy to be an on the go organizer.
But when it
I'm
comes to
trying
our
to personally, I'm even as a person, I'm not a very organized person. So I'm just trying, to be. So I guess weekly.
great. I know why I'm asking this. Like I keep saying, for our children with specials, we can't give what we do not have until we're able to master all of these things and give ourselves boundary. Then, because most times our children watch what we do before they can do it. So thank you so much, Mrs. Durojai, for this, and thank you for being very sincere, Mrs. Kinkere. We'll get there. We'll keep going on and on till we get there. And like she said, it's not a destination. You keep
At
getting better
all.
every. Thank you so much. So, Mrs. Ikere, based on all that Mrs. Joja, I took quite a lot of notes and I was going to ask a lot of questions, but I want you to please really, connect it and give us your input based on all she has said to us. How useful at this point to our children? What are the things that you think would work? What are the things that you think we need more ideas from Mrs. Joja to help help our kids to get more organized?
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Aneke. Now, Mrs. Jai, thank you so much. That was a whole lot, and it's a lot of what you said. It's useful for us, the parents themselves, as me as a person, and I guess every other parent out there. That basic things that we need to know and practice. So it's not just for the children. This session is not just for the children. It's actually for everybody to learn. It's really nice when you organize, because, like, sometimes, like in the office, I may be looking for my red pen or black pen. I'm like, oh my God, I know sometimes I just realize that I just spent 10 minutes looking for one object, so it's nice when we are organized, you know. Then, our children, you've already said a lot. I just want to, say some my experience with my child and some other children, some the thing is, depends on the diagnosis of the child. For you to be achieve, like you said, everything you've said has to do with the individual. So parents have to be mindful of the conditions that children live in and the level they have come up to. For a parent with a child like maybe cerebral palsy, for instance, who is even grappling with grip, how does this child handle, like this pen I'm handling? But a child with CP, someone with CP to be able to handle this is a whole lot. It's a whole lot. So it depends on the state of the child, the level the child has reached. Like, I was talking with some parents on our group. Okay, what would you like me to talk about? And I discovered that a lot of parents are saying, look, for us, it's basic things like even for your child to be able to drink water. Like you talked about water, getting the children to drink water. These children sometimes, it's not like they don't even want to drink. They can't even swallow. It's a problem. One of the mothers was telling me that for her child to learn how to drink water, she has to make the sound, the swallowing sound, and all these things. She has to demonstrate. If it's chewing, before the child can chew, she has to demonstrate to the child. And maybe something like meat, she will have to chew and let the child now give it to the child. What she has chewed, she will give it to the child to chew. And she made it a rule in her house that she was the only one permitted to chew before her child could chew. So some parents are at that level. So some parents are even at that, the basics as things that if you're not a special parent, you will take for granted. As someone who is not a special parent will understand where I'm coming from. Because these are things that, of course, even a regular 1 year, 2-year-old child should be able to do. Then introducing your child as a parent, introducing your child to family food is an issue. A child with special needs, is feeding them. Most of the time, these things may have to do with people with cerebral palsy, because children with Down syndrome, most of the time, they really don't have all those problems. They fit into the family feeding plan. Those with autism, on the spectrum too, may have problems blending with the regular family meals. So introducing family food is important. And what about the hours it takes? Because some of these things you are saying, I was just wondering, thinking about myself and some other parents, how do we even find the time to be able to be disorganized? Because a child, sometimes, I know a family, their child takes 2 hours to eat. 2 hours, the mother is just sitting down there. Just a bowl of cereal, 2 hours. So, these are some of the challenges we go through. Then teaching your child toileting, a parent listening to maybe have that challenge. How do I prevent accidents? How do I teach my child to toilet? Sometimes you may need to sit on the potty. You may need to make the sounds, strain and everything to get the child to understand, so that with time, the child can also communicate. The child now begins to do that, strain, and that, okay, it's time for the child to poo. Those are things that, the regular parent doesn't have problem with that. But for us, it's a whole lot. Then teaching them to be organized, like you have talked about. They may need to learn how to wash. Like Miracle, during the lockdown, ever since she had learned to wash some basic things. But since after the lockdown, she learned to wash. She washes all her things now, apart from her church dresses. She washes almost everything by herself. She can spread them, and when it's time, her sisters will say, come, let's go and get the things. She'll get the things. Now she's learning how to fold and keep her wardrobe neat, So these things, but for people, I know someone who is a graduate living with CP, and his mother was just telling me that, thank God he finally learned how to wash his boxers. But he's a graduate. So even when he was in university, like she and the daddy were like in university with, they were in school with him, you know. So sometimes it may really be a whole lot for parents to grapple with. Then the parents themselves now, you know, I want to go to the specifics of what you talked about. All that you talked about will require a lot of patience for parents to be able to do, to be able to be that organized, to, you know, put everything in place and to train, because our children take so much, it takes so long for them to learn. So for you to be able to teach your children, this is where this is how we compartmentalize the wardrobe and all that. It may take years. Well, it may take so long, and at the end of the day, the parents may just give up. Getting the child to be able to know that this is where this thing is in the house, this is where it may take so long. It requires a lot of patience. And then the child would have even developed to an extent to be able to learn. Like Miss Lola knows how long Miracle is still on colors. You know, Miss Lola knows how long it's taking her to learn colors. So for you to even get the child to master colors before you say, okay, your undies are in the pink and being and all of that, it may take like like the you know, I don't know how to say it, but it's really it's so complex, so complicated for us. And then the child would have learned to understand instructions, because understanding instruction is a whole lot for us as parents. Like the children I talked about in church today, sometimes like they're not even hearing, those on the autistic spectrum, sometimes like they're not even hearing you. Sometimes you don't even think they understand. So to get that child to understand instruction and then to adhere to it, it's a whole lot. Then adaptability to new environment, because I was taking this note as we are speaking. You know, sometimes when you have your home organized like that, thank God. But then you have to like travel. I read in a book where this woman complained about having a child lives with Down syndrome. That for her, the greatest challenge is whenever they had to travel, like they have to spend holiday, vacation with her parents or her siblings, getting the child to be used to that environment. Like I'm lucky, Miracle, even when we travel, she just, you know, adapts. But for some children, it's not like that. For the child to get used to that new environment, and then those of them on the spectrum, because they are used to, if they are used to a particular thing, they are used to it. Like the way they maybe their home is now, everywhere is organized, everything is labeled, and then they now go to another environment and it's not like that. It's like you have confused them completely. So we may have all those kind of challenges, and then appreciation of time. Like even Miracle, she's 9. I think in a lot of ways she doesn't appreciate time. But when we're having like maybe prayers and we stay longer than the usual time, she's not comfortable. She'll be pointing to the clock, you know. But as in, today is Monday, we should do this on Monday, or let's do this on Saturday. She doesn't really get that yet. So it's all of this places a lot of responsibility on the parents. The parents will have so much to do to make sure that, because at the end of the day, most of the time it's the parents doing and doing and doing. So the child should be able to appreciate time to be able to put into practice some of the things you've taught us. And then the educational, because I advocate mostly for parents who are indigent parents. So when you were talking, while I was listening to you, I was just thinking about some families I know. You know, educationally, they are never going to understand. They'll not be able to understand some of these concepts, and they are not even their challenge is even hunger. So they are like, I've not even eaten, and we are talking about purging, and so it's parents who are comfortable to a large extent, who may be able to consider, you know, some of these options. For most of those other indigent parents, they just give up. That's just the truth. They just give up because the whole thing is overwhelming. You have not finished eating. You have not paid bills. So it's a lot of challenge for them. Their financial status, their educational status. Somebody who is not educated may not be able to appreciate routine and schedule. But, you know, we keep engaging them. Like what you've taught us, I'll still engage you some more, after here, and then we'll engage our parents at whatever level. My mom always used to say that poverty does not mean imply dirtiness or laziness or whatever. So whatever they can do, because we really need to put in that effort for our children. So I think that's all I need to add, Ms. Lola.
Fantastic. Thank you. While I was speaking, Ms. Joy, I do have one or two things to say. Thank you so much. I want you to
I
speak in
may I may have
response.
to run. I'm sorry.
Okay, okay,
I
okay.
don't know how
That's
to
okay.
fly
That's
to
okay.
candidates.
We'll
Okay.
continue discussion with our audience and Mr. Joya and I. I'm sure you would have to rewatch, this particular episode to just find out what discussion was. We're almost about to round up also. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Joy. Mrs.
Thank
Inkera, thank you
you,
so much. Thank
Mrs.
you.
Oja. Thank you, Mr. Lola.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
So, Mrs.
Okay.
Joy, she had
Yeah.
some valid points that she
Yes.
mentioned, because
Yes.
everything we're trying to do is how can we support children with special needs and their parents. And of course, even after all that she had mentioned, she also said it was necessary for parents to engage in this with their children. While she was talking, she said, where is the time? Or there's so much. And that's what we say about special needs and helping children with special needs. You have to pick your battles. Which is more important, which gives you the better result. The 20/80 principle. What 20% of things can I do so that I can get the 80% of what I need
80%.
to be done? So yeah, she had some important and cogent reasons,
Yeah.
points to point out to us. But then this is still doable. At the end of the day, it's doable, because if we don't do it at all, then we are creating greater gap and we're not helping the kids to be independent. So over to you.
Yeah, so I was going to say, in fact, when she was talking, I absolutely appreciated all the points she raised because they were valid and they are the reality. They are a lot of
Yes.
people's reality, So people would hear you and they would say, I haven't even done this one. You're talking this one. I haven't reached here. But I would always say, where are you now? What can you afford to do now? By affordability, I'm not even talking in terms of money, but what do you think with your time schedule, with the level of that child's learning capability and understanding ability? Which of these things can you easily achieve,
Achieve.
or with a
Yes.
little bit extra effort can you achieve? Because the truth is, if these children somehow are able to learn, like she mentioned, a child who is even struggling with drinking water. Now, if all that family does is to pick the part where they create just that, focus on that water thing on the schedule and create fun around it, and from there the child learns, my goodness, if that child cannot drink water normally, it's organizing. You've helped
And
that
it's a
child.
cause for celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's
only,
another level of independence. Do you understand? And then
yes,
makes other
yes,
things easier.
yes. So for some children, like she said, is the ability to even hold that pain. If all you succeed in doing is to be able to put a schedule, a small schedule in place that gives that
True.
child that practicing ability until they can finally hold the pen. My God, you have achieved a whole lot, which is why I kept hammering and hunkering down on it, that know where the individual child is in terms of their ability to understand their growth process, know where they are, and know what works. And that's why I said I'm also available. I cannot do a one size fits all. But if you hear a
Yes.
particular scenario, you then may be able to give suggestions that can help
Absolutely.
that particular child at their current level to be able to, get better. But the truth, we are trying to help each of these children gain a level of independence, learn boundaries, and in whatever little way you can do it, that your little time available or extra time can do it, let's do it. That's just what I'm saying. You
Absolutely.
can't do it all.
Thank
In fact, let me say that even for children and adults, and you would agree with me, who are not special needs, these things we're talking about, they are hard. But tell you
True.
what, when they start getting it, when my children were not, I was going crazy. Like, what is wrong? Why can't you just fold your clothes? Why do you remove your clothes and just put it? But now that it took a lot of continuation, consistency. Now that they are getting it, I'm not as involved in their business because they've gotten that particular
Yes,
part. But there are still many
exactly.
parts they have not gotten that we are now that this one is working, let's see which one we can now drag in.
Strong
So
points.
there's always
That,
space for
that was a
improvement.
strong point. Thank you for that. So while Miss Ikere was speaking and all of the challenges that parents are going through, all I could pick up from that, there are valid reasons. However, you can decide to start getting yourself organized such that you pick the low hanging fruits, sort it out first, and then you see that every other thing becomes easier. And there was something you kept on repeating during your presentation. You said, avoid one size fit all. That's
Mm.
one thing you need to, whatever we're doing, what works for this might not work for that. I mean, you might have told us, even for the strategies you've given us and how to, it may
Yes.
not work for a particular child, another thing will work for that child.
Mhm.
Second, you said use rhymes. In children with special needs, rhymes works a lot. So thank you for that. And that's what we even do. And you said break it down into categories. Even for that child who cannot drink, we have to teach the child the step by step. Pick up a cup, even if it drops. It may take us 3 or 4 days. It may take us a week to pick up a cup. That's the first step. Pick up a cup. Then you tilt the cup. Tilt the cup might take us, pick up the cup and chaining it into tilting. Might take us
Yes.
another 1 month. We are making progress. We're making headway, irrespective of the fact that time may
Yes.
not be. You might look as if you're wasting time. And that's what organizing is all about too. The more you do it, the more you get used to it. At the end of the
Yes.
month, 6 months in teaching a child to drink water. Once that child gets it, that is gone and you have that forever.
Yes.
So all the time you think to have, so to say in quote, wasted, you're seeing that organization is taking place, things are getting easier, and the child is
Yes.
getting used to it.
Can
Thank
I
you so
share
much.
something? Let me share something here. If you remember very well, when I was teaching my second daughter how to light the gas cooker, you saw
Yes.
what it was like. Now, when I was teaching the older one, it was not that hard. It was
Mm-hmm.
hard for her, but it was a little bit easier. This one, she
True.
just was going to try it, and she had that fear. And after a while, remember, all the aunties were like, leave her, the fear. Well, the truth is, will I live with you in your house when you're grown? If
True.
you
That's
find
another good point.
where there's nobody and you have to save yourself with warming a meal that is already there, can you light the gas to save your life? I have to
True.
help you. Now,
True.
in all of this, I did not pretend as if I haven't heard that gas has exploded for a lot of
Yes.
adults even who tried to light a gas cooker and then it exploded and they died and so on. I was very aware of that debilitating challenge, but I said she needs to learn it because there are plane crashes every day, but we all still travel. Do you
True.
understand? We still
True.
go. So I just hunkered down on it. And guess what? She struggled. She was always afraid, almost even going to cause an accident. I had the option of giving up or just continuing gradually. Let's take it again. Let's take it. And sometimes she would cry and say, Mommy, help me. Can you help me? I'm like, you can do it. I know you
Tough
can.
love.
Guess
Tough
what?
love.
When she entered college and they were in home economics lab and they said, now let's light the whatever. This child was the only child who knew how to light a gas
Imagine
cooker.
that.
And
So
all
we
her friends were like, really? How did you know it? It was, and she now became very happy and proud. And since then, she has
true.
honed
True.
that skill and she has gained mastery in it. So it's never
True.
easy. It's never one size fits all. It's never hunky dory, but we know that it's a necessity and eventually to
Absolutely.
help this child. Then let's do all it takes within our capacity, within the child's learning ability to make it happen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really and truly. For children with special needs, we can never categorize them as one. They have different
Different,
abilities. For all
yes,
that we said today, wherever it fits in, pick whatever works for you and begin to use them. The issue of rewards, scheduling, these are things we teach under special needs, and we modifying it to fit into organization. I mean, this is one of the perfect ways you can think of helping your child to be much more independent. You know, and then I always say to parents, irrespective of the level of ability of your child, one day we're all going to close our eyes. And if we don't take time to teach some of these skills right now, we keep asking, what's going to happen to my child when I'm gone? We have to do the work right now. Mrs.
And
Ojai, how can
these are life
you?
skills. They are life
Yes,
skills. I
essential
always say
life
to the
skills.
children, oh, I have homework to do. Why must I cook now? I said, it's a life skill. If I'm not here today and you're stranded somewhere and someone manages to give you a pack of Indomie and they give you where to cook it, you must be able to cook to save your life. You must be
Absolutely,
able to wash
absolutely.
plates to save your life. They are life skills.
Yes. Thank you so much. While we were speaking, I also
Okay.
remembered Temple Grady, who is a person with autism. And Amanda would say, autism is one thing, learning other things is another thing. So, which of it are you? I mean, I understand that you're living with autism, but you used to learn some life skills. So, you need to find the balance. So, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I really want to appreciate everyone that has joined in.
Thank
Ozio
you.
Maike, I see you. For everyone on our various platform, thank you so much for joining in. And like we always say, it's not just about coming to hear. We must do our best to practicalize and generalize all that we've learned to make the world a better place for individuals living with special needs and any form of disability. Now, unfortunately, we do not have a sign language interpreter here today. He has some exams to do for the next few weeks. So if you're anybody out there who can sign, we would love to hear from you so that our deaf community can also benefit from all that we're doing. And that is it from us today on Finding Up with Specialists. Mrs. Tujaye, I could never thank you enough for your time.
Thank
We'll still
you.
bring you back again because we want to see the practical ways of doing these things. Because, like, some of our learners are visual, some are kinesthetic, some are auditory.
Yes,
We don't
yes.
auditory vision today. We'll bring you back and you show us the kinesthetic and the tactile way of doing some of those things. So thank you so much. And
Thank
until we
you.
come your way again next week, I remain yours, sincerely, Lola Aneke. And it's also a bye-bye from Mr. Tujaye, I think. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Mr. Tujaye. Have a
Bye.
nice week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.